Wednesday, the new night for justice on NBC.
First in high definition. Now, live from the station on your side. This is WAVY News 10, Decision 2008.
Decision 2008. Welcome to a special edition of WAVY News 10 at 6. I'm Alvita Ewell.
And I'm Tom Shad. Just an hour left to vote in Virginia. The polls close at 7. Let's look live from Chopper 10, showing some of those lines at Chesapeake at Chrysler Hall. We've seen pretty much all day long with record voter turnout. And now if you are in line before 7, you can vote. Remember that in North Carolina, you have to wait until 7:30.
Well, tonight 10 is on your side with complete coverage of Decision 2008. We have team coverage tonight across the state, as well as right here in Hampton Roads. We begin in the Super Appleton Weather Center tonight, and Chief Meteorologist Don Slater, who's giving us more on the Election Day forecast, and it was definitely a wet one, Don.
Yeah, it really was, especially earlier today. But right now, things are not looking that bad. We had some light rain steady for much of the morning hours and early afternoon, but things have tapered off. Here is Super Doppler 10 Live. Really, the only rain that we're seeing, and not all that much of it, is toward the Middle Peninsula and Northern Neck, north of Williamsburg. You can see a couple of stray showers there. Very steady, heavy rain, though, across Hatteras Island. So you've still got plenty of time to vote, and really the weather is not that terribly bad right now. But for tomorrow, later tonight and tomorrow, we're going to end up with a minor nor'easter into the area. You can see the steady rain over Hatteras Island, scattered showers across the Middle Peninsula, Northern Neck. Rain increases later tonight and through the day. Now, it's going to become very windy later tonight, more and more really for tomorrow. By around tomorrow noon, we could see some wind gusts to around 40 and very minor tidal flooding coming up tomorrow during the early afternoon. But the big news is, again, really what we're seeing is just some scattered light rainfall through most of the area, a little heavier rainfall across Hatteras Island. So you get time to vote. You get an hour yet to vote. And it looks like it'll be fine. An hour and a half out of North Carolina. So again, we're looking pretty good. We'll have more with our forecast in a few minutes.
Quick correction, Chopper 10 was over Chesapeake, but not Chrysler Hall. That was a mistake. The rain certainly, though, has not deterred voters. You're looking at Chopper 10 over Chesapeake this morning as people lined up by the hundreds. One of the reasons for the backups, problems early on with voting machines at some Chesapeake precincts. Then on your side's Mary Kay Maloney is live with the latest on the poll problems there. Mary Kay, what happened?
Well, I'll tell you right now, the lines here at the Clarence Coffee Center, not bad at all. They're actually, the line outside is gone. People still stacked up on the inside, but there were technical problems this morning. The second they opened the polls at 6 a.m., huge delays for people. Some people even had to call off work to get the chance to vote. The line of voters wound through the building and wrapped around the outside.
But it just got to the point where it was just one big mass confusion.
At 6 a.m., when election workers turned on the voter ID machines, nothing happened. People couldn't vote for the first hour the polls were opened. And there were no paper ballots on hand as backup. Some people waited in line for 8 or 9 hours.
I've been here since 4:30 this morning.
Pretty upbeat for the most part. I mean, I thought, people would be a little more irritated.
Keisha Wilson waited for 8 hours only to be turned away.
She said, we have you already casting a ballot today. I said, no, not me. She said, well, it's 2 Keisha Wilsons. I said, well, that Keisha Wilson must have cast a ballot under my name.
While Keisha argued and refused to give up, the line grew even longer. Finally, an official with the State Board of Elections came down from Richmond to address the technical glitches.
Because of they did not expect it, that machine gonna broke.
They didn't have a plan B.
The plan B, that's exactly. So
that's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
Back to Keisha, attorneys were already on hand to deal with voter problems.
I spoke to some of the attorneys in there. They made me swear and sign an affidavit giving them my information, and I voted.
Good news for Keisha there. Also, they brought in extra poll workers and machines to kind of ease those problems. Right now, things going very smoothly. Live in Chesapeake, Mary Kay Maloney, 10 on your side.
Similar scene on the Peninsula today. Record turnout as well, plus problems at the polls. 10 on your sides, Katie Collette continues our live political team coverage from Bethel High School now in Hampton.
Alvita, the rain, that weather caused a lot of problems for voters and voting machines today here on the Peninsula, but the proof of how important this election is lies in the numbers. At Bethel High School, the precinct chief tells 10 on your side more people voted so far today than they did here in the entire 2004 presidential election. And that's with a ballot scanning machine malfunctioning. In Newport News, voting officials say their scanning machine jammed because of wet ballots. And it was the same story in James City County at Ralsburg Elementary.
They were wet. Their clothes were wet, the umbrellas were wet, their coats were wet, and as they received the ballots also got wet.
The good news, the machine was replaced, and this voter had his big moment.
It's my first time voting, and it was a great day.
At Yorktown Elementary School, precinct officials tell 10 on your side they had no problems today, and they're well on their way to breaking a voting record. More than half of those registered in their precinct already voted, and that doesn't include absentee ballots. Now, the State Board of Elections is also looking into reports that an unnamed Hampton polling place placed ballots inside a duffel bag and then transported them in front of elections officials. Now, the State Board is quick to point out that duffel bag is an approved container and all proper measures were followed. Live in Hampton, Katie Collette, 10 on your side.
And in Virginia Beach, voters have been lining up all day long to cast their ballots. Mayor Myra Orbendorf is trying to hold on to the seat she's held since 1988. She faces 3 challengers tonight. One is at the center of an Election Day controversy. Then on your side's Lori Crouch is live with that story. Lori?
Well, Tom, it is a very little flyer, but it's sending a very big mixed message. Obama for president, Sessoms for Virginia Beach mayor. The only problem is Sessoms is a card-carrying Republican. 10 on your side learned that this flyer was being passed out at predominantly African-American precincts. It's the talk of the election in Virginia Beach. A flyer of Democrat Senator Barack Obama shoulder to shoulder with mayoral candidate Will Sessoms, a card-carrying Republican. His fellow candidates were shocked.
This is appalling. I can't believe it.
It's kind of sad, is what it is. It's almost desperate, and it certainly doesn't represent who he is.
It was passed out at predominantly African-American precincts like Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Democratic Sylvia Ellis ran off the men doing it.
They're taking advantage of this, and it's, you know, I think it's a very cheap shot.
I've got nothing to do with it.
10 on your side caught up with Will Sessoms. He's mad.
We've run a good, clean campaign. My reputation is what it is, and it doesn't play games that way.
Even so, the Republican representatives aren't happy.
I would hope this isn't something that Will did, that somebody, some loose cannon in his campaign decided to do it to get him some last-minute votes. I would hope that would be the case. But if it isn't, you know, it's a pretty cynical move.
Now, Golden tells me that Sessoms did upset the Republican Party when he endorsed Democrat Mark Warner for Senate, but Sessoms tells me he is standing by his choice, John McCain, for president. In Virginia Beach, I'm Lori Crouch, 10 on your side.
And in addition to the presidential race, Suffolk is the scene of yet another historic race. Voters there will elect a mayor for the very first time. Up until now, the mayor was appointed by City Council. Stand on your sides, Oren Lieberman tells us tonight voters are relishing one more choice on the ballot.
Most of the election hype comes from the big names on the top of the ballot.
I'm very amped. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
The mayor's race in Suffolk may be getting less attention, but for voters here, it's the first time they've had the chance to pick a mayor.
Everybody's trying to build the neighborhood up, you know, good schools and everything like that, so looking forward to everything. 6 candidates made the ballot and 1 write-in, so many that voters haven't had a chance to learn about all the names.
I've only know about 2, which is Linda Johnson. I see her signs posted everywhere, and then Nixon, so not really sure who I'm going to vote for.
Like the presidential race, this one will depend on who gets the vote out, a vote split by a packed ballot. Voters say they wouldn't have it any other way.
I think it should be up, just like any other election, should be up to the people to vote for who they want, not somebody appointed by a board or the city.
Most of the voters we talk to still say the primary reason they're here is the presidential race, but they say with so many candidates in the mayoral race and the first chance they ever got to vote for the mayor, it is a big race for them too. We'll have results for you later on tonight. In Suffolk, Oren Lieberman, 10 on your side.
And from Chesapeake to Virginia Beach, 10 on your side's been tracking reports of voter problems all day. You can see Chopper 10 right now over a precinct in Portsmouth showing people still waiting to vote.
And straight ahead, we'll take you to Richmond for a live report, what state election officials are doing to make sure your vote counts.
And the election isn't the only news of the day. We'll take you to Chesapeake, where a man risked his life to rescue his wife from their burning home.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 6. with Alfita Ewell, Tom Shad, Super Doppler 10 chief meteorologist Don Slater, and Bruce Wader Sports.
Printer just dropped this off. Millions hitting stores tomorrow. Voila!
Candle is Campbell. Jason Campbell.
Oh, it's the printer calling now. Hello? Oh, yeah? That's terrific. Thanks.
Tell me it's fixed.
Oh, no. Can't be helped. Good news, though. He also saved a bunch of money on his car insurance by switching to Geico.
I need a new agent.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Watch WAVY News 10 and Fox 43 Election Night. Live reports from Virginia to North Carolina. Information online anytime.
Be here when history is made. Fox 43 News at 10.
And WAVY News 10 at 11. Your choice for Decision 2008.
Exposing an online real estate scheme that will cost you dearly. Thursday at 6.
With today's hectic pace, life can move pretty fast. Now there's a way to escape the everyday chaos. Escape the high price of gas. Escape the congestion. A way to get where you're going without the stress. The Max. Make your commute the best part of your day. Visit GoHRT.com for routes and schedules.
Log on to WAVY.com and sign up for election night Twitter alerts on poll results and behind-the-scene newsroom updates. Decision 2008 on WAVY.com.
That's crazy, man.
Hundreds of financing options are now available at your Jeep dealer today.
1, 2, 3,
let's go!
Long voting lines across the Commonwealth this election day. You're looking at the scene right now in Richmond. Well, actually, it was earlier today in Richmond.
That's right, folks. Waiting out in the rain. Hampton Road's not the only place plagued by voting problems. 10 on your side's Kay Young is live in Richmond tonight.
Well, Tom and Alvita, we've been speaking with the State Board of Elections. Every complaint and concern and question that the viewers at home have sent to 10 on your side, we've taken directly to the board, and they are trying to do everything they can, they tell us, to make sure that your vote counts despite problems.
We have confirmed that this morning at one Chesapeake precinct there were as many as 1,000 people standing in line.
At Virginia's State Board of Elections, workers are spending this election day handling complaints and problems. For example, wet weather outside caused problems with electronic machines at some precincts in Hampton Roads and throughout the Commonwealth.
Voters who were affected were provided official paper ballots, not provisional ballots, to cast their vote. More importantly, those voters who were given paper ballots, all of those cast ballots will be counted.
The State Board of Elections headquarters in Richmond is also where state officials are trying to diffuse rumors and miscommunications.
The State Board of Elections is also looking into reports that at a Hampton polling place, ballots were being placed in duffel bag. We have determined that this bag was used to transport ballots to the polls, was in plain view of election officials, and was a proper transport bag.
And one last quick fact from the State Board of Elections. If you are in line by 7 p.m. tonight, we are told that every voter in line will be able to cast a ballot, and that ballot will be counted. They'll have election officials at all the precincts making sure that people in line by 7, again, can vote tonight. Live in Richmond, Kay Young, 10 on your side.
Thanks, Kay. Still not knowing what time they're going to get out of line, but if they're in by 7.
That is the big question tonight.
Yeah. 10 on your side does have crews across the Commonwealth.
And next we go to Northern Virginia for an update on a race that pits two former governors against each other.
I'm Andy Fox, live in McLean, Virginia, where Democrats are hoping to have a transforming night. They are saying it's a transforming night in American politics. I'll have a live report coming up.
WAVY News 10, first in high definition.
When they were done, it looked like they'd never been there, except for the new windows. It's just beautiful. She loved it.
She's happy with the windows. Of course, now it means I have to paint the den. If you need windows, call Window World.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
An online empire for free stuff.
It's just a great tool to use to get rid of something quick.
Whether you get it or give it away, these bargains won't cost you a penny. A 10 on your side Money Saver Report, Thursday at 5:30 and online at WAVY.com.
There's a chill in the air.
You could feel it everywhere.
But while we enjoy the comfort of a warm coat,
Sadly, there are children and teens across Hampton roads in need of a jacket.
WAVY TV10 partners on your side and EVMS are working hard to change that.
You don't have to open your wallet, just open your heart.
Go through your closet and donate any gently used or new jackets to Coats for Kids at any of these locations.
Your generosity
will help make the season warmer.
We're the largest window replacement company in the nation. We've earned the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Over 3 million windows installed, tens of thousands of satisfied customers. You should be next. Window World, simply the best for less.
There's no place like Golden Corral for lunch. It's the only place you can enjoy the new Beef Lovers Lunch Buffet, featuring our sizzling steak burger patty melt, mouth-watering mini steak burgers, awesome pot roast, homestyle meatloaf, our fabulous Philly steak melt, and many more of your favorite beef dishes. Plus over 100 other choices, all at a price you can handle. Stop by for our amazing new Beef Lovers Lunch Buffet for a limited time only. There's no place like Golden Corral.
Now to the Virginia Senate race, two former governors are battling out to replace retiring Republican Senator John Warner.
And Republican Jim Gilmore, as well as Democrat Mark Warner, are facing off. Warner is showing a large lead in the polls, and 10 on your side's Andy Fox has been in McLean, Virginia all day with that race.
Two former governors casting votes in a Senate race that became a referendum on their performances in Richmond. Democrat Mark Warner, voting in Alexandria, holds a commanding lead in the polls.
You know, the most important thing is after this election, everybody's got to decide that, we're going to come together as a country. Whoever is successful, this country's got to come together.
Republican James Gilmore knows he's behind, but forges on.
If you want to keep your taxes low and you want to control government spending, if you want to get somebody that didn't support the bailout, if you want somebody who's going to stand for the right to work law, if you want somebody who has a long history and tradition and experience of working national security, then I'm their candidate.
After Warner voted, children offered Warner free cookies from their bake sale. He insisted on paying.
Mark, is this no free lunch? No free lunch. Might violate Senate ethic rules. I don't know.
In nearby Vienna, Gilmore poll worker Steve Kleinsma holds out hope.
I think it's probably a lot of the coattails that kind of Obama has bring, the hope and stuff that he's brought, which I think is a illusionary hope, but I think that's kind of what's keeping the Dems on top of the ticket.
I mean, even a lot of solid Republicans in Virginia say he's the man because he is so thoughtful and he wants to reach across the aisle. I'm sure he will carry that trait to the Senate.
Now, Mark Warner, the former governor, is here at the McLean Hilton. He'll be watching returns with Governor Tim Kaine and U.S. Senator Jim Webb. Of course, if Mark Warner wins again in this race, three of them will be the last statewide elected Democrats in Virginia, along with Warner when he won statewide. So they are thinking that this is the future of the Democratic Party. Terry McAuliffe, the former head of the Hillary Clinton campaign, says tonight will be a transforming night, Alveda, in the Democratic Party, and 10 on your side will be here to watch it all unfold. Back to you.
Yeah, as soon as you find out, we'll find out. Thanks a lot, Andy.
I want to update you now on some other local stories tonight. Police say bullies in a Suffolk school forced a 9-year-old boy to take drastic measures. Investigators say the child told them that he took a steak knife to Creekside Elementary School on Friday to scare other students picking on him. School officials found the knife in the boy's book bag. They don't believe he ever pulled out the weapon, but police are investigating this case.
Taking their case to court, residents in East Ocean View say that crime is crippling their community. So the group is suing City Councilman Randy Wright. They'll go to court on Friday morning. The residents called 10 on Your Side for help, saying that Wright hasn't done enough to help clean up their community. Several months ago, we launched an in-depth hidden camera investigation following Norfolk police breaking up crime in East Ocean View. They are suing Wright to develop a plan to address the crime, flooding, and rundown homes in the area.
Now to a heroic rescue in Chesapeake. A local Civic League president rescued his wife from their burning home. He's 88-year-old James McNeil. He was out taking other seniors of the polls today when his wife of 66 years called to say their house was on fire.
I just told her to keep talking so I could find her. And I said, hold your hand up. When I touched the hand, I snatched her.
Everything in the house can be replaced, but I couldn't be replaced.
It's a touching story. Tonight, the Red Cross is helping the McNeils. One firefighter was taken to the hospital after falling when investigators say a short in an electrical panel sparked the fire.
Now, in high definition, your Super Dapper 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
We have, I'm looking at the clock on the wall here, we have about 40 minutes for you to get out to the polls and get in line. And if you get in line, and that's in Virginia, longer than that, a half hour longer than that into North Carolina. If you get in line, you're going to get in to vote. Here's a polling place live from Chopper 10. It's in Suffolk. It's near Harborview in Suffolk. So again, a small line. It looks like a small line, or at least some people standing around outside. So again, you got time to vote yet. And the weather doesn't look that bad right now. It looks like the heavy rain should hold on off. Here's a look at Super Dapper 10 Live. Heavy rain should hold off, except for Hatteras Island. That's where we're seeing a heavy rain. You can see a few scattered showers in the middle peninsula, the northern neck, but really things are very quiet for right now. The wind has picked up a bit, and some of this heavier rain will be into coastal areas later tonight and into tomorrow. But again, we're not looking at big problems out of this coming up, even for tomorrow. The biggest problem for tomorrow is going to be the wind, because we'll see a minor nor'easter. Times of high tide early afternoon tomorrow. We can see some minor ocean wash, overwash along Pea Island area especially, and very minor tidal flooding into the Hampton Roads area again early afternoon tomorrow. Here's the rain by 2 o'clock in the morning and the wind, 20-25 miles an hour, 25 to 35 tomorrow morning at 7. Some fairly hefty rain moving through by around the noon hour, and that's when the wind kicks in, 30-40 miles an hour, gusting higher at times at the coast. But even then, the rain tapers off and the wind tapers off by the end of the day for tomorrow. We'll still see some scattered showers into tomorrow night and possibly even into Thursday morning. But really during the day Thursday, it'll still be a bit breezy and things continue to improve. Heaviest rain is going to be across eastern North Carolina, where we've already had 2 inches of rain across Cape Hatteras, the Buxton area, on up to Rodanthe, Wave, Salvo. And we can see an additional 1.5 to 2 inches, even into Virginia Beach, 1.25 inches into the south side. So the rain is going to be increasing tonight and tomorrow, becoming very windy tonight and especially the middle of the day for tomorrow, and very minor tidal flooding coming up during the day for tomorrow. Current temperature readings, what you see is what you get. It's not going to change much coming up for tomorrow. It'll be around 63 degrees, and here's the 7-day forecast. We are looking again at some windy conditions coming up for tomorrow, especially tomorrow, and then after that it'll start. Rain comes to an end for Thursday. Still about, 40 minutes in Virginia to get out and vote, and the weather's looking fine.
Just about down. We've got an hour right now, before the polls will close in Virginia.
That's right, and while we have seen record turnout, the day has been plagued with problems. Next, 10 on Your Side investigates. See what happened when we showed up at a voter registrar's offices looking for answers.
Wow, this brown bag special is really amazing.
I know, it's a great deal.
I mean, never in my life did I think I would get this much food for $6.99. It's like one of the happiest days of my life right now.
Really? How about our wedding day?
The food was good on that day too, but I think that this still probably wins.
Brown bag special. Sonic's got it, others don't. A Sonic-sized deal with 2 burgers, 2 tots, and 2 drinks for just $6.99. And for dessert, try the new Sticky Bun Dough Blast.
Welcome to Progressive.com. Ah, I see you have a list.
So I only pay for the features that I need.
So let's customize your policy.
It's me.
Now just add or subtract what you need.
I want lots of coverage, a little less, a low deductible, and roadside assistance. That was easy.
Your satisfaction is our policy. It's a little insurance joke. Really little. There it goes.
Getting the policy and the price you want. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
WAVY News 10, first in high definition. 10 on Your Side is fighting hunger and identity theft with our upcoming Shredded event. Saturday, November 8th from 11 to 2. Join 10 on Your Side's Nicole Livas and Katie Collette at one of these Farm Fresh locations. In Newport News on Chapman Drive. At Virginia Beach on South Independence Boulevard. Bring at least 2 non-perishable food items for area food banks. And with the help of Shredded, we'll shred up to 4 boxes or 3 garbage bags full of your old documents. Another way, WAVY TV 10 is on your side.
Virginia has one of the highest recorded number of mesothelioma and asbestos-related illnesses in the United States. Newport News and Norfolk Naval are 2 of the local shipyards where tens of thousands of workers were exposed for decades. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, lung cancer, or asbestosis, call the law offices of Peter T. Nicol at 757-397-6424. With more than 30 years' experience in asbestos-related law, we can help.
Can I have one of those, please?
The new World Poker Tour $100,000 Hold'em Poker Scratcher from the Virginia Lottery with a top prize of $100,000 and a second chance drawing for a trip to play in a World Poker Tour tournament. It's poker you can play anytime.
I'm in.
10 on Your Side back now with Decision 2008. We've heard from voters having problems at the polls in several Hampton Roads cities today,
including Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Hampton, Newport News. So 10 on Your Side is taking calls and getting answers. We first went to the registrar offices in Chesapeake where we were turned away. The front desk worker told us the registrar would be in a meeting all day long and could not comment. 10 on Your Side then went to Hampton where Registrar Teresa Kyle to us. She explained how rain-soaked voters inadvertently got their ballots wet, which caused machines there to malfunction for a time. She then said she believes Hampton and Virginia as a whole were prepared for this vote.
I think we were prepared. I think the citizens weren't prepared. We tried to tell them in news media alerts, through the newspaper, and every other source. It's a presidential election. There is going to be a line.
10 on Your Side is committed to getting answers to your voter problems, so call us at 673-5310 or log on to our website, WAVY.com.
Again, the polls close in about a half hour in Virginia at 7 o'clock. If you are in line by then, you will get to cast your ballot. And don't forget, in North Carolina, the polls close at 7:30 p.m.
And that wraps it up for WAVY News 10 at 6. We will be back with live election cut-ins throughout the night. And remember, we're always online.
On WAVY.com for continuous Decision 2008 updates. Just go there, and we will see you back here at 11 o'clock.
Wednesday is the new night for justice.